What would it look like to date in a way that actually protects your heart? Today, we're going to talk about the boundaries that make that possible. Welcome to Love Journey, the podcast where we prepare for love God's way. I'm Elana, your love life coach, here to help you heal, grow, and build a love that lasts. This is your place for real talk, biblical truth, and heart-deep transformation for the love God has for you. A love that is right, rooted in God, honesty, and trust. Welcome to Love Journey. Hey, my sisters, welcome back to the Love Journey podcast. This is episode 8, and we finally made it to the last letter in the Prepare for Love series, E, establishing healthy boundaries. And this one right here, it really saved me. Now, today we're talking about how to establish healthy boundaries in dating. Because if you've ever given too much, stayed too long, or lost yourself in the name of love, this episode is for you. You can be emotionally open, spiritually grounded, and still guard your heart. And that's what we're going to walk through today together. If you're just tuning in, the Prepare for Love series was created to help you do the inner work before you enter a relationship. Because dating without preparation leads to confusion, pain, and spiritual compromise. But when you prepare God's way, you walk into love as a whole, healed, and discerning woman. We've covered 6 foundational steps already, and now we're closing out with boundaries, because boundaries holds together everything we've been talking about. Let me start this conversation by saying we teach people how to treat us. In my last relationship, I was the yes girl. Yes to giving too much too soon. Yes to overlooking things I knew deep down were not okay. Whatever he wanted to do, my answer was yes. And when he canceled plans because of his schedule or something more important came up, I swallowed my disappointment, frustration, and even anger and replaced it with understanding. I stopped spending time with my friends because I wanted to always be available, just in case he had time for me. I let things slide because I didn't want to rock the boat. And I told myself, this is what relationships are all about, sacrifice, the give and the take. But the truth was, I was giving him everything. I was teaching him that it was okay to keep taking without giving back, and that no matter what, I would always be there waiting. I poured myself into that relationship because I thought that's what love required. But when it ended, I didn't even recognize myself. I had lost my voice, my friendships were strained, and my life had to be rebuilt from the ground up. What I didn't realize at the time was that I had made him responsible for how to treat me, when it was actually my job to set, communicate, and enforce boundaries. And when we don't have boundaries or don't enforce them, we set ourselves up for heartache and pain. The Bible makes it clear. Boundaries are God's idea, not man's. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." In this scripture, the heart represents the center of who you are, your thoughts, your emotions, your will. And King Solomon is teaching us that everything in life flows out of the condition of our hearts. And if our hearts are unguarded, everything else in our lives becomes vulnerable. And that's where boundaries come in. Boundaries are how we guard our heart. They're not punishment or control, they're protection. They create the guardrails to keep us aligned with God's truth and safe from unnecessary pain. Without boundaries, we can risk compromising our values, ignoring red flags, losing our identity, and becoming emotionally drained. But with boundaries, we gain clarity and wisdom. We'll experience peace and have self-respect. We'll have the ability to love with freedom. And our relationships will be built on trust, not fear. Boundaries allow us to honor God with our choices, honor ourselves with self-respect, and honor others with clarity. They set the tone and expectation on how we want to be treated in a relationship. They are the practical ways we live out Proverbs 4:23, protecting our hearts so that what flows out of it is healthy, holy, and whole. So, what boundaries do we have to have in place when dating? There are 5 personal boundaries that I feel are must-haves when dating. Let me share with you what they are, what they protect, and give you an example of what one might be. Number 1, emotional boundaries. Now, they protect emotional safety and ensure respect for thoughts and beliefs. An example would be respectful communication, or that you validate your feelings and not dismiss them. Number 2, physical and sexual boundaries. They protect your body and intimacy. An example would be a discussion you guys have about honoring God with your body. You should decide ahead of time what affection is comfortable and what isn't. Number 3, time and social boundaries. They're there to protect balance and priorities, like keeping me time without guilt, right? Or maintaining your friendships and family relationships. Number 4, digital boundaries. They're there to protect your privacy and communication. Now, for the phone, it's a big deal. Sometimes people are caught snooping and looking at your phone. You should have conversations about that. And you should also have conversations about texting. Maybe you're the type of person that doesn't like text messages, or maybe that's all you do. So you'll need to set some guardrails or some boundaries around that. Number 5, financial boundaries. They're there to protect your resources and contentment. Now, I don't think I should have to say this, but I am. Don't blend finances while dating or even when you're in the beginning of relationships. Finances can be a big problem. So as you can see, boundaries are not walls. They're wisdom. They protect the heart that God entrusted to you and create the space for love to grow, healthy, respectful, and to be honoring to God. So how do you set and keep boundaries, and how do you actually live them out? Well, here's what helped me to recover and to stay whole while I was dating. Decide before you date. Know your standards before emotions blur your judgment. I decided my boundaries before I started dating again. I wrote them out, I prayed over them, and got crystal clear on what they were. Communicate clearly. Boundaries don't work if you don't voice them. Say it kindly, but directly. I communicated early. No more waiting for someone to cross the line. I told them what I needed from the start. Enforce consistently. If someone crosses a boundary, you have to address it. Don't minimize it to keep the peace. I enforced consistently. I stopped explaining away red flags and I addressed them directly. And then lastly, get accountability. Invite a mentor or a friend to lovingly check in. Boundaries are easier to uphold when you're in community, when someone else knows what your boundaries are. I got accountability. I told my sister, and she lovingly asked me the hard questions when I needed it. My sister, I hope you can see why having boundaries and enforcing them are so important. They protect the heart God entrusted to you and allow you to create the space for love to grow in a healthy, respectful, and a way that honors God. Well, it's time for the Checkpoint Challenge of the week. This week, I want you to write down 1 emotional boundary, 1 physical boundary, and 1 digital boundary. Then text or share that with someone you trust. Let her or him lovingly hold you accountable as you prepare to date the way that honors God. Well, my sisters, we have done it. We have completed the Prepare for Love series, and I want to reflect on where we have been because I hope this journey has been more than just a checklist. I hope it's been an opportunity for you to reset and to transform and to set a new foundation for godly love. And so here's how it all comes together. P, pursue God first. Why? Because He is the source of everything, our identity, our ability to discern, and He is a source of our peace. R, receive community counsel, because wise voices protect us from blind spots and heartache. E, examine your character, because we know who you are attracts what you build. P, purpose for marriage. Love isn't random, and when we think it is, we end up in trouble. Love is about legacy, mission, and covenant. A, align faith, values, and calling. Shared beliefs and vision are foundational for a lasting relationship. R, resolve past hurts. Why? Because if we don't, we're just going to drag them into our next relationship, and healing positions you to receive healthy love. And finally, E, establish healthy boundaries. Why? Because boundaries protect the progress you have made and prepare you for the love you've been praying for. My sister, this is what it means to prepare for love. When you walk through each of these steps, you date with intention, you choose with confidence, and you stop settling for potential. You become a woman positioned for a love that lasts. Thank you so much for tuning into the series. I pray that it has blessed you. I know, we covered a lot, but don't worry, I've got you covered. Grab my free Prepare for Love workbook. It gives you all the steps, scriptures, and checkpoint challenges from the series to help you grow in wisdom and prepare for the love God has for you. Just go to lovejourneypodcast.com/workbook or click the link in the show notes. Now, next week is Q&A time. I'll be answering some of the questions you submitted, so don't miss it. And if you have some questions for me that you want me to answer on the show, send them to me at hello@lovejourneypodcast.com. Now, God's way isn't always the quickest, but it is the way that leads to love that lasts. And I'm cheering you on, always.